right, so now that we've got some basic foundations in Illustrator, I want to show you, okay, what can you do with these things? How can I actually make something out of this, all right? So we're going to try and make a specific design using some of these things that we have in Illustrator, okay? So we're messing with shapes, how to change the size, how to rotate things, how to change the color, and how to arrange where they are front and back to be able to create something specific. So I'm in Illustrator here, and so I've already talked a little bit about the different tools and things you can do. If you click and hold on any of these shapes, you will get, on these tools, you will get extra options here. So we're going to be making a snowman, and so I want to draw out a circle. So to draw out a circle, I just click and drag out. But this is giving me an ellipse, all right? So if I want to make something that is a perfect circle, that does not look like a melted snowman, I can hold down the button Shift. As I hold down Shift, it makes it where it constrains the proportions and it makes a perfect circle. All right, so I can draw it that way. I can also, if I wanted to draw out from the middle, so I know that this little guide, little pink line that pops up here, that I am lined up with the center of that other one. If I hold down Alt, as I drag, it will make a perfect circle. It'll make a circle from where I clicked. And if I hold down Shift, it'll make a perfect circle also. So I'm holding down Alt and Shift to be able to do that. Okay, so same thing here, maybe about here. And that is fine, okay? Except my size is not what I want it to be. So I'm gonna go to my selection tool and click on the corner up here at the top. I could also use my scale tool over here to the side. If you wanna use the scale tool, you can. I just use the selection tool. It's a bit easier for me. Hold down Shift as I change the size of it, and then I can click it and move it over to wherever I want it to be, all right? Now, right now, I have made these shapes, and these shapes are white on the inside with a black outline. If I were to put a background, go to my rectangle tool, zooming out, if I wanted to make a background here, and let's just make it blue, okay? Right click, and I'm gonna show you this again in a second. Right click, arrange, where are you? Arrange, send to back. Okay, and this is the shortcut. Remember this shortcut, you will use it all the time. Okay, that is Control Shift bracket. All right, so now you can see, because I've put it on this background color, you can see that my shapes are actually white. It's not just because it's the white background, the object actually is white, and that's important to know. So I can change my colors over here to the left. I have an option. This is my fill color, this is my stroke color. Up here at the top, I have another option to change. That's the fill color, that's the stroke color, all right? But make sure that if you want to change something, you have to make sure that you have that thing selected. So I've got this selected, and I go up here to change the color, and it will change to that color on that square, okay? If you want to undo something, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. The shortcut for that is Control Z, or the long way of doing it is to go up to Edit and then do Undo, which is Control Z, it says right there. Okay, so that is Control Z. Another thing that is important to know, you saw me do this just a second ago, but let's say that I want my circles to kind of overlap a little bit. So I'm going to bring this down like that, okay? And maybe I have this set up and I want them to overlap like that, but I want this circle to be in front, or I want this circle. So right now the way I have it set up, this one was created first, this one was created on top of that, and this one was created on top of that. But if I wanted to change the way those things were arranged, okay, you can think about it like if you have pieces of paper, then you can tell there's this one is on top of this one is on top of this one, all right? But in this two-dimensional world, there is no separation. It's completely flattened. So you're looking down at a stack of papers, but you can't tell the difference between those things. So if I had an object behind something, so let's say that I had, I'm just going to draw a polygon here. All right, so here is a polygon. I'm going to change the color of it just so you can see it, okay? So a lot of times people will say, where's my shape? It's gone, okay? If I send that to the back right now, you can't see it at all. There is no raised surface in that area. There is no difference there, right? But if I were to select all of this, click and drag and select all of this, you can see that it is right there, all right? So I could send all of this. If I select all of these pieces, I got all these pieces selected, but I don't have that polygon selected. Right click, arrange, send to back, then it pops up, okay? So, and I mean, I'm happy with the way I've got this set up right now, with the way that these circles are stacked on top of each other, but if you wanted to change something, that's how you would do it, all right? If I want, I mean, and you're just making shapes, right? So I can do my ellipse tool, and maybe I want to have some eyes. Maybe I'm gonna have not exactly perfect. And I want to do, let's make them be white. Let's do no color. I don't like that. It's okay. All right. I'm going to do something right now that I do all the time that it is very important for you to know how to do. If I want to make a copy of this, I could do Control-C, Control-V, and that gives me a copy of it, and then I have to go get it and move it around to wherever it is that I want. Okay. But a much, much faster way to do it, to make a copy as you go, I just did Control-Z to go back. The much easier way to do it as you make a copy as you go is to hold down Alt and drag. Oh, wrong thing. Alt and drag. Okay. And there we go. Okay, his soulless, lifeless eyes that we have here. All right. You can use, if you want to use the paintbrush tool to draw things, you can also do that. Okay, so that's one way that you could do, if you wanted to do the nose or you wanted to do the arms. Okay, the arms, I could do paintbrush tool, change this color down here to maybe more of a brown, it's kind of more maroon. I'll just go up here. Find an actual brown. There we go. Okay, and if you wanted to draw out like this, then you could. Okay, it kind of looks at what you're trying to do and kind of, you see how it kind of snaps in like that. So just kind of be aware of that. But and you could also do, if you wanted to do, I'm going to select that and delete it. If you wanted to do the pen tool and draw something out, let's say I wanted to have something just a little bit more static, right? Go back to my pen tool, and I can draw his hand. Back to my pen tool. What happens if oh, interesting. Okay, and I did some stuff there with the anchor point. So it just depends on what you want to do, okay? And I could do with the pen tool and make it have those curved lines over here if I wanted to, all right? But then this looks great. I love this, except I want it to be a little bit thicker. So if you go back and select it, and I'm going to hold down Shift to add to my selection, and I go up here to the top where it says stroke, and I can increase the size of the stroke to be a little bit thicker. Or if I want it to have that kind of more of a line drawing look, I can go up here and change some of these variable width profiles. I don't like that one. It's a little bit better. Might do that for this arm and not for the fingers or something like that, okay? So, but just make sure that you have it selected, whatever it is that you're doing. And you can have fun with this. You can do whatever you want to, right? You can do, if you want to give him a broom, if you want to give him a background picture or something like that. If I want to give him a hat, all a hat would be is just a rectangle tool. I want to draw out a hat. Let's make the inside color be, let me go for more of a gray. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to draw another one. Go to my rectangle tool and click and drag out. Okay, and there is my hat. All right, and I could do, if I want to, I could do right click, arrange, select it, right click, arrange, bring to front. Okay, and that kind of helps me get that cleaned up there. You can also combine the shape if you want to. And you say, well, that's nice, but I wanted to make it where it's bigger. You can make them bigger at the same time, just like that. Okay, I'm not really a big fan of that, but I'm just playing with shapes. I'm just showing you some stuff, okay? So this isn't necessarily about the best way to make a hat. It's more like okay, I'm not a fan of the way it looks, but you get the concept, okay? So you can see kind of what I'm going for here. And if we wanted to do, paintbrush tool, and let's make this be white. And I can, nope, that is not white. Make this be white. And we can do, and we're just going to add some snowflakes, okay? And I could do any number of things like that, okay? So, it's supposed to be, this assignment or whatever is, how do I select things? How do I move objects around? How do I make them be on, when things are on top of each other or behind each other? And that's really all I'm looking for here, okay? There's a couple of things we could have gotten into with the shape builder tool. I'll probably do that next. So, there's other things that you could do with this, all right? But for this beginning type stuff, I'm just looking at, how do you make shapes? How do you change the size of those shapes? How do you change the color of those shapes? And how do you manipulate how those shapes interact with each other? That's all I'm looking for here. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.